Yeah, Wednesday. What's up, everybody? Wednesday morning. Welcome to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson. I hope you guys are all having a great morning as we are about to take a look at our markets from an educational perspective, looking at both breakouts and reversals. Yesterday, we had our live trading room, which we broadcast on YouTube. So hopefully you were able to join us and watch what it is that we do in our live trade rooms. But this is just kind of a small snippet as we go through some of these positions. If you want to learn a little bit more, go to tradersarmy.com. This week is our free preview week. Today we have a wealth essentials class, we have an options class, we have a crypto class. You can join all of those live rooms. Just go become a free member. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into today's market movement. So yesterday we looked at this level right here for a potential reversal. We had said, listen, there are really two trade setups worth looking at today. One being a pullback into this region right here, where we identified an entry, a stop, and a target on a 15-minute time period, and it was looking at this region right in here. The other potential trade was getting long on the breakout, and we said we have a very clean opportunity for a breakout. Now, if you get long on the breakout, your stop would be right below this pivot, so your risk is this distance. And with my risk being this distance, my minimum reward to risk is a 2-to-1. And so we wound up moving a 1-to-1 and a 2-to-1 out of that level very, very quickly. So yesterday's breakout trade was a very effective opportunity for anybody who was following along. So hopefully you were able to catch a little bit of that trade yesterday. Do me a favor, leave a comment down below. Were you able to catch that breakout, able to take that for a little ride? Hopefully you got a little bit of cheddar on your Whopper. Now, what about this level down here? Well, it's still valid. This level down here is still a very valid level. I will say that our 4-hour trend is still bullish, so we would still continue to look to be buyers. I think our momentum is slowing just a little bit, but we are still more than happy to be buyers. And so looking at that, I think you've got a 15-minute entry right in here. I will say, and I'm going to get rid of some of these notes because it's just going to be too many of them. It's going to clutter up our page. I will say it's also worth considering this level right here, which was the origin of the breakout for a little 2-to-1 reward to risk, where we have a rally-based rally above a pivot low, also worth considering. Now, you say, well, Chuck, we're down 17 points tonight. What if I just follow that small time frame trend, which I'm okay with, frankly. The thing that I would say is that you'd have to get short right here, and that would have to be a confirmation entry because you're trading against the big picture trend, and the big picture trend is a bullish uptrend as of now. Looking at the Nasdaq, we also had a strong breakout, giving us an entry, coming to our next level. Now, our next level is actually this area right here, the very top of this daily supply. And so, in my mind, that actually sets up for another breakout. So, this breakout was a pretty effective entry. And then I think you have another breakout possibility. If we get basing right here, I would say that there's a good breakout chance to get long above that region. Moving to a 15-minute chart. It's not quite as clean as the other market that we looked at. Doesn't have quite the same good look as the S&P on a 15-minute. So I'd rather you use the S&P for that potential long. And then from a short perspective, you would be probably this area right here if you wanted to try the short today. There we go. So hopefully some of you were able to catch a little bit of the breakout trade yesterday in the Nasdaq, make a little bit of cheddar, making a little bit of cheddar, as they say. The Russell 2000, we actually had a really nice move off of our 15-minute demand area from our live trade room on Sunday night, and that was a little wick over wick level. That was a really clean entry. The next area that I think makes the most sense is probably this area down in here, which is also a very similar level. I like the fact that it was formed right at the London market open. And so being formed at the London Open is typically one of my favorite times of the day. And so you'd be looking for a retest back into this region. And then certainly our same area exists above in supply. So we've got our very small time frame supply, our very small time frame demand wrapped around current price. I will say on the Russell, our 4-hour chart, still up, but slowing in momentum the most. So I'm a little bit concerned about this demand that it not hold because our 4-hour momentum is clearly waning on that Russell 2000. Looking at our crude oil picture, we took a look at crude yesterday. So another opportunity to make a little cheddar, as they say. Our 15-minute level, this little base rally that we had built right into here, price did come back down into that level. Now it stayed in there for a little while, so you may have gotten out based on our 6-candle rule. It gave you an opportunity to move your stop to break even. Price then rallied out of that zone. This is now dead to me. We traded to the bottom of it. So now I would be looking at this level right in here. Now, what about the supply level that we're coming up to right now? Technically, that supply level that we are approaching right now is still a valid area of supply. It's a confirmation entry, right? We're looking at that as a confirmation entry because our big picture trend is up. Now, that 15-minute supply level is a really nice base drop, but we have to look at that from the perspective of where's our opposing demand. And my opposing demand would be probably right here or at most down here. Well, that doesn't really give me a 2-to-1 reward to risk anymore because this level here is pretty wide. And so while I think we may still get a move out of it, I don't know that it offers me a quality enough reward to risk to take the short. Next, gold. Gold, we did get a little breakdown yesterday below the level, but if you notice, we put this little box here because I wanted some basing in front of the level. So this didn't really give us a solid entry. It didn't give us a solid entry. Didn't tell us, hey, you should get long on a pullback, or you should get short as price came into here, and then really didn't come back into a supply area to tell us to get short. So it didn't really work out from a breakout perspective because it didn't set up properly. The little box I have there tells me that I needed some narrow range candles in that region, and I never got them. Now, when we're looking at the opposing levels, we're coming up to a little bit of a triangle resistance point. I don't know that I would short off of this level. Actually, oftentimes these become bullish breakout opportunities when they don't work on the downside. But for now, I just don't think there's a lot of trades in gold. I would just hold off, not really force anything in the gold setup. We looked yesterday at the Japanese yen, which had a really big move off of our breakdown. We had looked at the breakdown trade below here on Sunday night. Price moved really strong away from there. And we've come back in the Japanese yen all the way to a daily area of demand. Now, that daily area demand, I feel like we may get a little bounce out of that, but there's really some nice supply up above us that I think makes a lot of sense as a target for that to get short and come back down the other way. Crypto, let's take a look real quick at crypto. So Bitcoin and Ether. So the first one being our Bitcoin setups. Looking at the micro Bitcoin futures, we are continuing our trend to go a bit higher. I would say that we've got a little bit of that kind of slowing momentum on that move up, but we are still moving up, kind of grinding up for Bitcoin, frankly. Not a humongous move higher, but a little bit that is going to give us an opportunity to get long. I just think that your better long is going to be on this expanded range candle right here. The downside is if we base in front of that level, right? If we base in front of that level, it's not going to be any good. Now, Ether gave us a nice breakout trade. So those of you that took the breakout trade, Ether continued to run up from the breakout trade. We came up here to the second breakout area, and it's not broken out as of yet. So I think you've got another breakout above 30.47 in the micro Ether futures. So those are our levels for today. If you guys have any questions, please shoot us an email, support@tradersarmy.com. Until tomorrow, everybody, I will talk to you soon. See ya. Hey, thanks for joining us. If you like what we do, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's the only way the computers know that you're actually alive and really care. And go to tradersarmy.com today to learn a bit more. And if you want to see some of our other videos, click here in the box.